Brain injuries and brain disorders affect millions of Americans, but they're often misunderstood. Lynn Becker, founder of Power of Patients, is here to tell us more about the Brain Summit happening here in Charlotte next Wednesday, taking place over at Northeastern University's Charlotte campus. Lynn, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Good morning.
This is a really important topic that I feel like not everybody talks about unless it affects them. So first off, what is the Brain Summit and why is it coming here to Charlotte?
Right. So the Brain Summit is a collaborative event bringing researchers, advocates, patients, caregivers, everybody involved with any kind of a brain condition. TBI, concussions, strokes, dementia, you name it. And we're bringing
Let me stop you there. TBI for people, traumatic brain injury,
Correct.
just for people who might not know.
Correct.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you. And the goal is to be able to pull together people with lived experiences, real world experiences, and talk to those researchers and companies in the space to actually develop research more specific to them.
And you are one of those people who have real life firsthand experiences with your two daughters. Explain.
That is correct. Yes. So I have two daughters, and my oldest concussed out of volleyball, which who would have thought? And my youngest daughter was injured, a very critical injury with a traumatic brain injury and a stroke. Boy threw a soccer ball at her and ruined her career in terms of becoming the next Erin Andrews, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's a Cinderella story also, because after years, and I mean many, many years of rehab and Mama Bear not quitting, I got her back to where she should be, and she was able to stay in school, went on for a graduate degree, got married, has a wonderful husband, has a beautiful baby, and was told, don't ever expect to have a child. So
what did you learn from those experiences with your daughter?
Holy cow, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned that I don't know anything about brain injuries like the rest of us.
Sure.
And so I had to dive into it, and then I learned how little research is out there. But I also learned that as a caregiver, I couldn't really understand what was happening to my children because they looked normal. They looked the same. And some days they were the same, but then many days they were not. And I didn't even understand that. So being patient and trying to put yourself, the empathy in their shoes, that they were a different person from where they are now, and how do you get back to it? That's the biggest hurdle I think we all have.
I can only imagine. You have said that you feel like brain injuries are often underdiagnosed and undertreated.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, there is no blood test, there is no saliva test, and the emergency responders often can't tell because people go into flight and fight modes and they are still okay, and symptoms don't start presenting for sometimes hours or days after the event. On top of that, many images such as CAT scans and MRIs miss any kind of insults to the injury. So that causes and sets us up for missing all of the conditions. And then if you show up at the doctor days or weeks later, you don't make the connection that, hey, maybe that hit on my head or any part of your body is causing these symptoms. So that's part of our problem as well.
What do you hope people get out of the Brain Summit next week?
The biggest thing is that putting people in front of the research community is the goal, because we're able to then design trials and experiments and products specific to what they need. Right now, these kinds of events are isolated. You keep all the caregivers together, you keep all the patients together, and I'm putting them all together. Put them in one room so they can all collaborate and learn from real-world experiences and what's coming down the pike.
What would be your message? Say it's a mom out there like yourself, or maybe it's a dad, or maybe it's a husband or wife or sister or brother going through what you've been through. What would you tell them?
First of all, I'll tell them to track on our application. It's free.
There you go.
But only because it will show them trends and it will show them what's happening to their child. But I also want them to speak up. Don't just accept an answer. If something's not right, and that's like the most common response we see in our app, something was wrong, something was off. We as caregivers, moms and dads, we know our children best. You got to keep fighting for them.
Got to be your biggest advocate.
Yes.
Or your son and daughter, or your husband or wife, or whatever it might
Whomever.
be. That's right. That's right. All right, Lynn Becker, eye-opening for sure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.